Hello everyone, settle in, because I've got a spooky magical tale from the dark fields of Gosan, a rural town in South Korea's Chungcheong province. Today, we're diving into a story about a dokkaebi, a creature straight out of Korean folklore. Picture a mischievous spirit, kind of like a mix between a playful leprechaun and a powerful fae. Dokkaebi often look like big horned men, full of tricks. They can wield magic, like granting wishes with a special club or making you invisible with a mystical cap. You'll find them popping up in old Korean fairy tales, and some Korean shamans even honor them as mighty deities in sacred shrines. But here's the thing, dokkaebi are unpredictable. They can be goofy and generous, showering you with blessings, or vengeful, cursing a whole family with bad luck if they feel slighted. This story is all about that wild mix of human courage and a dokkaebi's cunning. This happened when I was a high schooler, visiting my aunt's rice mill in Gosan County. A quick bit of context, my mom's family ran the biggest rice mill, brewery, and coal briquette factory in nearby Umsong County, and my uncle owned the largest rice mill in Gosan. They were well-known folks around those parts. So during school breaks, I'd head down for a day or two, and the pocket money I earned kept me set for months. I was there all the time. That's how I got to know the workers at the rice mills. One summer during my second year of high school, I was having lunch with them at my aunt's place. We were swapping stories, and when I said I loved creepy tales, one man named Mansu leaned in and shared this unforgettable story. Mansu was born and raised in Yokmali, my aunt's village. This happened way before he worked at the rice mill, back when he was 23, helping his parents farm. One night, after drinking rice wine with friends to celebrate a birthday in town, he was walking home across a bridge. That's when he saw something odd. A stranger sitting on the edge of his family's field, stretching out his arms and legs, measuring the land while muttering, 1 chuk, 2 chuk. Now a chuk is an old Korean measurement, about a foot long. Wondering why someone was messing around in his field at midnight, Mansu shouted, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing out here?" He thought it might be a village elder, so he approached carefully. But the guy either didn't hear or flat out ignored him, just kept measuring, 4 chuk, 5 chuk. Mansu, a bit tipsy and feeling disrespected, yelled louder, "I said, what are you doing in someone else's field?" When the guy still didn't answer, Mansu stomped across the field's furrows and grabbed his shoulder. But when the stranger turned, Mansu froze. This was no human, it was a dokkaebi with a sly grin and eyes that glinted in the moonlight. Young, bold, and fueled by liquor, Mansu figured backing down could be trouble. So he shouted again, "Who the heck are you measuring our field like that?" The dokkaebi chuckled. "Hehehe, are you the owner of this land?" "My father owns this field," Mansu snapped. "What are you, and what's your deal?" The dokkaebi pointed casually to the nearby valley and said, "I'm the owner of this land." Hehehe. That valley was Sangguk, a famous spot in Goisan, a sprawling place with deep waters and towering cliffs, maybe even linked to Muju in another province. That's when a childhood story hit Mansu. Locals talked about a dokkaebi named Kim Seng who lived in Sangguk Valley. They said he claimed all the nearby land as his own. Squeeze him and your crops would thrive. Cross him and your harvest was doomed. Just a typical rural legend, right? Mansu felt a chill but didn't want to show fear, worried the dokkaebi might curse him. So he stood his ground, shouting, "This is my father's field, so get out of here." The dokkaebi, grinning like it was all a game, said, "Ha ha ha. Do you know how to wrestle? In Korea, wrestling, or sirim, is a traditional sport, like sumo, where you try to throw your opponent to the ground." Mansu was no stranger to wrestling. He'd represented his county in Chungcheong tournaments, winning twice and even taking home 2 cows as prizes. Confident, he said, "You want to wrestle me?" The dokkaebi replied, "All right, if you win, I'll make your father's fields yield double this year. But if you lose, what's in it for me?" Mansu shot back, "If I lose, I'll bring you makioli, that's our traditional rice wine, and millet cakes every week until harvest." Deal? He remembered an old village saying, when wrestling a dokkaebi, "Hook its left leg and you'll win." Feeling cocky, he added, "So you in?" The dokkaebi smirked, "Hehehe, it's a deal." They agreed to a best-of-3 match. In the first round, before Mansu could even blink, the dokkaebi lifted him and slammed him to the ground. He lost in a flash. In the second round, Mansu focused, hooked the Dokebi's inner leg, and threw him down, tying the score of 1-1. In the final round, Mansu went for the left leg, but when he looked down, wait, what? The Dokebi's right leg was there, but the left was gone. Stunned, Mansu fumbled, and the Dokebi lifted him again, slamming him into the dirt. Mansu jumped up furious. "Hey, old man, hiding a leg? That's cheating," the Dokebi roared with laughter. "Ha ha ha ha, you fool, Dokebi only have one leg. You didn't know? Keep your promise, bring a Magoli starting tomorrow." And just like that, the Dokebi vanished. Mansu woke up in the field, head spinning from the wine. Footprints were scattered everywhere, making him wonder, was I bewitched, messing alone like some kind of drunken dance? Still, the encounter felt too real to ignore. True to his word, Mansu started leaving Magoli and millet cakes on the field's edge every week. Each morning, he'd find the jug empty. Maybe wild animals, maybe the Dokebi, who knows? Summer turned to autumn, and when harvest time came, his family's fields produced over twice the usual crops, bursting with more grain than they'd ever seen. Mansu never met the Dokebi again, but he believed it was a guardian spirit of Sangok. Village elders told stories of it sending wild beasts to ruin crops if angered, or helping folks, like carrying a kid who got hurt catching crayfish in the valley back to the village. After hearing Mansu's tale, I couldn't help but wonder if I'd meet this Dokebi myself. Maybe I'll head out with some Magoli and see what happens. If you've ever been to Gosan, you'd get why it feels like a place where Dokebi could appear. Unlike Umsung, it's got high mountains and rushing rivers, a perfect spot for something magical. I still visit once or twice a year for ancestral rites, but it's so developed now, I bet the Dokebi got fed up and stopped showing up. Hope you enjoyed this story. I'll be back with another tale soon. Your likes and subscriptions keep me going, so thank you.